Hey, it's Baje. Just wanted to talk to you all for a minute. At home, it's about lunchtime. I just made me some lunch. Bam! Salmon, spinach, and sweet potatoes, my favorite. But what I wanted to talk to you all about today is just going for it, you know? That's all I am, just a girl who decided to go for it. Just a girl who decided to go for it. I've always had, big dreams since I was 6 years old. When the teacher asked, what did you want to be when you grow up? I used to say, I want to model and act. At that time, I lived in Jamaica. There wasn't a model or an actor in sight. But I just had that dream in my heart. And around, how old was I? Around 21 is when I decided to drive from Orlando, Florida, where I was living at the time, to Los Angeles, California, by myself. Everybody said I was nuts. Everybody. Everybody. But I knew that if I wanted to give my dream a shot, I had to go to where I had an opportunity, or at least a shot at it. And everybody in my surroundings at the time weren't real goal oriented. They weren't driven. They were just comfortable working a 9 to 5 and getting 2 days off a week. Getting 2 days off a week and 2 weeks off a year. And I just decided that I wanted more out of my life. My mom had just passed away 2 years ago. Mom had just passed away 2 years ago from breast cancer, and she was 60 years old, and her goal, what she was looking forward to, was to ride the bus for 25 cents instead of $1, because now that she was a senior, she would qualify for that rate. And that was like her biggest dream. She didn't have her driver's license, didn't have a car, never owned a house. And I looked around my surroundings and I knew I couldn't reach my full potential with no one around me who was pushing me, no one who inspired me, no one who I could look up to. So at 21, I gassed up my car. I had about $500 to my name, 300 of which I had to spend on gas. I'd never been to LA before. Besides TV, I didn't know what LA looked like. I just knew I knew one person there. They said I could crash on their couch until I get a job or get on my feet, and it was just a chance I was willing to take. I don't know what would have happened when I set out on that drive, but I knew what would have happened if I stayed in Orlando. I would have really withered away. I would have never seen my potential. I would have never met my mentors. I would never have the life that I have now. It's been about 6 years that I haven't had to work for anybody. I can get up and go and do what I want to do and still have money coming in. And so now I'm in the phase of traveling. I don't believe that God put us on this earth just to stay in one place, live there, marry there, have kids there, then die, And I think it's cruel to get only 2 weeks off a year out of your own life. I think that's absurd, really. And I don't know, I figured out a way. I figured out a way, and it all started with that drive in Orlando that day. I drove to LA a few months later. I met one of my mentors. His name is James Cannon, happens to be Nick Cannon's father. And he really took me under his wing, and he saw something in me that I didn't see in myself at the time. And he really believed in me. He asked me what I came to LA for. I told him modeling and acting. He said, sweetie, have you ever thought about anything else, like a backup plan? Because everybody comes here. Thousands of people come here for modeling and acting. Have you ever thought about something like writing, maybe scripts or books or something, screenplays? And I thought about this book idea that I had. I only got one page finished so far, and I didn't even touch it in a year, but because his faith in me, I was able to finish that book in a little over 2 weeks. That one book landed me on on Dr. Phil a few times, among a bunch of other TV shows and radio shows. Frank Ski, Big Tigger Show, The Breakfast Club with Angela Yee, DJ Envy, a bunch of shows. And that was my first stream of residual income. And really, that's the answer to not having to work. Find different streams of residual income. It can be books, it can be audiobooks, it can be music, it can be machines like vending machines, ATM machines. It's a whole, like, inventing things and or patents, and it's a whole lot of ways to make money without having to work for it. And the rich and the successful know this. I find it sad that the hardest working people get the least in this world. And it's not because they don't want better, it's because they simply don't know. If I was still living in Pine Hills, Florida, I'd still just be working hard. At the age of 21, I was already had about 15 jobs, everything from cleaning toilets, cleaning offices, selling home security systems, working for Sprint, working for AT&T, selling customer service. It was just a bunch. Working at the grocery stores as cashiers, working at Ross, working at clothing stores in the mall, working at the stadium, selling peanuts. Cinnamon glazed peanuts, anybody? Yeah, I remember that. Oh, I remember guys used to have me walk way up in the nosebleed section just to say, oh, I just wanted to get a good look at you. But yeah, I had my first job at 15 years old. So from 15 to 21, the span of 6 years, I worked at least 15 jobs easily. And I didn't like it. And one day I made up my mind that I wasn't going to work anymore. Not for anybody else anyway. And when you hit that point, when you see one of your loved ones, somebody like your mother who worked so hard, blue collar worker, never had a degree, and die with nothing, it does something to you. It does something to you. And at the time, I don't talk about this part much, but at the time, my daughter was 6 months old, and I made the decision to leave her. It was the hardest thing in the world to do. I didn't leave her as in just, dropped her off somewhere. I left her with her father and his mom and her mom and their aunt. They all lived on the same block, and I had a great support system from them. So that made it a hell of a lot easier. So I knew I would miss her while I was gone, but I knew the best thing for her at that time was to leave her with people she loved. And I flew back every 3 weeks or so, which was hard because the money I was making as a model and actress at the time, which wasn't a steady paycheck, I had to spend most of it, just on flights going back and forth. But I took the risk, and it worked out. It worked out. So I live in Atlanta, Georgia now. I'm home now. But this weekend, I'm excited because I have a workshop called Design Your Life. It's a goal setting workshop, and I'm bringing it to Orlando, Florida, a place where I lived 8 years. And it saddens me when I go back and I see the same friends in the same spot, working away with nothing to show for it. Or some of them may make, a comfortable living, but they still can't take, a month off their job. They can't take 2 months off their job. And like, what's the point of working if you can't enjoy it? Life was made to live, not work just to pay bills. And I've been so fortunate to find a way out of the rat race, and I just want to share it. I want to share it. So my workshops usually cover goal setting, financial freedom, overcoming adversity, because I realized that not having money isn't a problem, it's a symptom. So it's other things that you have to deal with, whether you're spending too much or you're in too much debt, or you're just giving away your money to anybody who asks, or you keep bailing family and friends out. It's something that causing you to not have money. So we get to those root causes. And the last part is beauty, brains, and balance. And this one is strictly for women, just speaking about increasing self-confidence and and enhancing self-image and dating smarter. So this one in Orlando this weekend, Saturday, May 14th, from noon to 4 is goal setting. Just showing you how to go after your goals, how to put them on paper and break them up in smaller, manageable sections. And I don't want to give too much of it away. but just teaching you how I was able to get to where I'm at. How I was able to get to where I'm at. And I remember one big goal of mine when I was like a teenager. I wanted to go to Paris one day, and I've been to Paris 3 times so far. And it wouldn't have happened if I didn't adapt the type of mindset that I have. You know, you only live once. You're gonna die anyway. Les Brown said, nobody makes it out of life alone. So why play it safe? You have a dream in you. You have a goal that you want to accomplish. And maybe people around you are discouraging. Maybe you don't have a support system, or you feel like you don't have a support system. Maybe you don't have any motivation or anybody who believes in you. I'm going to tell you today, I believe in you. So many people believed in me, strangers, people I probably don't remember some of their names, but they gave me couches to sleep on. They gave me food to eat. They gave me money here and there. They gave me books to read, and I want to pass it on. I want to pass it on. So, hope to see you all in Orlando, Florida this weekend, Saturday, from noon to 4 p.m. Come out and meet other goal-oriented people. This workshop is open to men and women alike. And come and let me teach you what I know. Let me teach you what I've learned from the hundreds of books I've read over this decade, and from my millionaire mentors, all the wisdom and knowledge I soaked up from them. And come and network with other goal-oriented people. Can't wait to see you there. All right, I'm about to eat my salmon.